Animal City offers gift cards in any denomination. When you stop in to see us at Animal City, make sure to explore all 2 stories of our wonderful pets and pet supplies. This is Amanda, inviting your family to come in and do business with my family. Animal City is at 919 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
2 powerful FM signals, 1 AM signal, and worldwide on WGNSradio.com. You can listen to us anywhere. We are WGNS Murfreesboro. WGNS Murfreesboro, W270AF Murfreesboro, W263AI Murfreesboro, Smyrna. The Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and online at WGNSradio.com. This is the WGNS Action Line, talking with Rutherford County newsmakers about what matters most to you.
On today's program, we have Rutherford County Commissioner Craig Harris joining us. I'm Brian Barrett. Glad to be sitting in today for Scott, who has been pulled away this morning. And Craig, good to have you here this morning. So much to talk with you about. I did want to start off by saying I enjoy hearing Commissioner Corner.
Well, thank you. I'm very happy to be here today.
Commissioner Corner is something that we have on the website and hear it on the air as well. How did you come up with that idea? That's a pretty interesting idea, a way to get your message out to your constituents and everybody here in the county.
Well, I mean, one of the things is we all have opinions and we all want to share them. And I'm just not scared to share them, It's, somewhat controversial, but I mean, that's really how I feel. And the whole premise is, do you remember the Paul Harvey stories when he would speak and it'd be about a 5-minute and then, he's getting his point across. And I kind of got that idea from that.
Yeah.
What I do is, it's like, for instance, when we talked about wokeism, I explained what it means, what's the definition of it, how it came across. And then I explain what the other side thinks of it. And then I give my opinion. So I try to go in that area. I try to be informative, try to be opinionated, and, and I try to see, the opposite side of it. Mm-hmm. So, one thing about wokeism is, that word just absolutely creates turmoil, creates animosity and division, amongst the right and the left. But if anything I wanted to get across is, all Democrats are not woke. I mean, it's just a small, that's the far left faction of it. And, I got calls from liberals and I got calls from Democrats, and it was in no way, it's no different than Trumpism, where the right, not all Republicans are Trump, Trumpism. So, I try to explain that, but it's like most things in media. Somebody gets offended and they take it, as if it's a group and it's an echo chamber, and it was nothing like that.
I think for the most part, the majority of Americans, the majority of Rutherford Countyans, whether you're on, the left or the right, you're not far left or far right, but those are the ones that seem to have the bully pulpit, and it's one of those things that is dividing. But I think most Americans are just rather, let's get together and get some stuff done here.
Yeah, and most of the time it's far left, far right. They're a small group. They really are, but they scream loud.
Mm-hmm. And squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Yes, and and then you got the media. That's clicks. Reporters and media, and it's clicks, and that's how people get paid these days. People don't know that. It's how many clicks you get on Facebook or Instagram. But it's just, they yell the loudest, and that's the ones, we have it here in Rutherford County. We got a certain group, they yell a certain way, and all anybody hears is them, and it's absolutely right, the squeaky wheel. So that's a good analogy. I'm going to use that. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. I didn't come up with that.
I like that one.
We have Commissioner Craig Harris here this morning. Craig, what district do you represent here in Rutherford County?
I represent District 15, and that area is over there by Middle Tennessee Christian School, the airport. So I've Northwood subdivision, Maribel, in those areas.
Okay. And a lot of people, they really maybe don't know who their county commissioner is or what district they're in, and maybe they don't know that until they go and vote and see a name that's on there. But there are others, I'm sure, that have you on speed dial. So, I mean,
yeah, there's and I'm chairman of steering, so I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of phone calls from commissioners. A lot of people don't know who their commissioner is, but what they don't understand is the commissioners are the ones that really run the county. So we deal with the budget, we deal with public safety, we deal with the schools. I mean, all that stuff affects, more people than any federal politician or any federal, U.S. congressman or U.S. senator. And a lot of people don't understand that. So it's, I take it very serious as a commissioner, and I want to help people, and I want to be as transparent as possible. And when you're transparent as possible, you open yourself up to super criticism, and you open yourself up to a lot of people that, don't understand things, but they want to, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Because, hey, this county is so big. I mean, people don't understand. We just right now went from 5th to 4th. We're bigger than Hamilton County, which is Chattanooga. So we're growing at such leaps and bounds that, there's a lot of big time decisions got to be made.
When I often say this because I think it's so disappointing to see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12% voter turnout when we're doing local elections. But, you have a presidential election, it's 60% voter turnout, or better. And the people that you're electing to the county commission are the ones, and city council in Murfreesboro, town council in Smyrna, they're the ones that directly affect you more in terms of local tax dollars and how it's appropriated and tax increases and all that stuff.
Yeah, and you talk about city council. Oh man, we got growing cities. So there's 7 of them, and there's 21 commissioners out of 21 districts. And, we're dealing right now, this is going to be, in my time as being a commissioner, this is going to be one of the toughest budget years that we're going to face. And it's going to affect everybody in this county. And yes, commissioners, we have a lot of responsibility. And a lot of people don't know that. Mm-hmm. They really don't. I mean, it doesn't get any, media, we don't get anything like that. But yes, 10% turnout is, I'm very controversial in what I say, but it's, and I you understand I am who I am, but that's pretty pathetic. I mean, it really is, when you got a county mayor race and, you win by, have 5,000 votes and it's just no turnout. And that's one of the things, that we have got to do better of. We got to be able to have more people voice their opinion. So many new people are moving in here, that might change. We're getting a whole influx of new people, so it might change.
Some people who say, well, you need to make voting easier. I don't know how you could make it any easier. You can vote anywhere. Early voting, you've got early voting. You can vote on Election Day anywhere in the county. If you live in Murfreesboro but work in Laverne, you can vote in Laverne. The vote centers, vote anywhere. I don't know how we can make it any easier to vote.
No, listen, I'm a big Alan Farley fan. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Alan does a exceptional job, and he does make it very easy. I mean, you can go anywhere, like you said, vote. It's, I've been able to vote and go in without waiting. Of course, we waited a little bit on the presidential. Yeah. But, during my campaign and during the last one, I mean, there wasn't many people in line at all. And it was very simple. And yes, I don't think here we have a problem with that at all. I mean, I agree with you 100%. You just got to come out.
Yeah.
You just got to come out. You can't drive a car without a driver's license. So how's that a big deal that you got to show it, when you vote?
Well, there you go. Craig Harris is with us, Rutherford County Commissioner. While a county commissioner is elected by the residents in their district, the work that you do affects Smyrna and Laverne and Eagleville and Murfreesboro, just like it does your particular district as well. So when you're elected to the county commission, you're one of 21 voices that really dictate a lot of things.
Yeah, and like the city council, they are elected as one race, and the top three get in, and but they represent the entire city. Mm-hmm. Shane McFarland and the city council of Murfreesboro, they do a good job. We got to work together better. We got to work together. I mean, Mary Esther Reed does a great job. I don't know Jason Cole very much, but I know we had to work with Jason, and yes, we do represent. I represent District 15. That's the most important thing to me. But I'm on steering, which is all the policy, the government legislation, all that affects the county. That's the whole county. And then I'm also on the budget committee, which affects everything. So you have to get that mindset that, yes, I represent my district. They are most important to me, but I also have to, represent every single person in this county.
Well, there are a lot of things coming in here, but here's probably the $1 million question. Several texts this morning have already asked. You mentioned the budget's going to be the toughest. Can you imagine what they're asking? They want to know if there's going to be a tax increase.
All that stuff's going to hit in about a month and a half, 2 months. I mean, last night, during budget, we are operating on a deficit right now, and schools, I don't know. I suggest to people, tune in to these meetings. Watch these meetings. They're on TV. They're on cable 1092. They're on, you can get on the websites of Rutherford County, and they have them on there you can watch. Big time year this year. I mean, our schools last night said that in the next 5 years they need over almost $800 million. $800 million, and that's just unbelievable. And then,
is that just for construction?
Just for construction of new schools or capital projects.
Yeah, that doesn't include just their normal operating budget. That's just for building, right?
No, I mean, they asked last night. They asked for $193 million for extensions on 4 schools, and it's easy to go, well, don't do it, But when you're getting 2,000 kids every single year coming in, that's a whole school. Mm-hmm. That's an entire school. And then you got an area like Blackman that is so red. And when I mean by red, it's a lot of people in a condensed area. And there's just so many people right now moving to Rutherford County. And, we have to school. We had to do the kids. I mean, we have got to have schools. We can't have kids and portables all the time, So it's a really double-edged sword. I mean, you got to have them, but, man, you got to pay for them.
So you say 2,000 students per year moving in. If you drive by an elementary school is built for about 1,000 kids. They be at capacity. So that's 2 elementary schools a year, and you're adding that many students. You don't have enough land to put portables on.
Yeah, that is a challenge, And I mean, Dr. Sullivan, who's our school superintendent, very sharp individual. Very attuned to these problems, and we're having to deal. One of the things that I always struggled with is we find this land, and it's easy to say, okay, we got this much at this price an acre, but what people don't understand is you got to fix those roads. You just can't have a 2-lane road going into a school when you got buses passing each other. So you got to put that cost on top of there. Then you got to put the cost of how much money it costs to borrow money. I mean, like, for instance, the bond market is coming out, and the interest rate's going to be around 4%. On $200 million, that's $14 million. And then people don't see that, So you're adding all this together, and it just comes just compounds, and it's just people don't understand that, and people you raise my taxes, and look, you have to be able to pay for all this stuff, and you can't just keep accumulating debt all the time.
So schools is looking in the next 5 years, as you mentioned, about $800 million in capital projects, but this in this budget, it's almost $200 million, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like last night they turned in a number of I think 193 million, but they had got approved for 165 million, but the prices has changed, and the bids came in higher than what they was initially thought they would be, and it was about probably $18 million increase from what they proposed. So we're looking at things like that. Price of materials go up, so it's it's just so many unforeseen factors, and it's man, I sat in that chair last night, and I tell you, I was like, wow. I'm sitting there, scratching my head, going, "Oh my goodness!"
So the people are coming. There's the land is the land, and so every year you go by, the price of that land to even purchase to build a school is going to go up. And one thing here's a perfect example of you build it and they will come. You go and look at Rockville High School, and then look at what has sprung up around Rockville High School since it's been built. Already had to put an addition on Rockville Middle School just because when you build a new high school, people will flood into that area, and that's where they move to. And so you're going to see that with the next school you build, the next addition. I mean, they're coming whether we like it or not.
Well, developers love schools.
Yeah.
They love to build. We put a school in, and subdivisions pop up everywhere. Planning Commission, I can tell you stories of how Planning Commission has so many new developments coming in. And, if somebody finds, we have to be so transparent, but somebody knows that the schools are looking for land, you'd be amazed how popular that land becomes, because people want to get it and want to sell it to us. And it grows. It's just so big. Rockville was, we built that school I think 2 or 3 years ago. I don't really remember.
2019. It was. Yeah.
It's already at capacity.
What we had to rezone.
It's at capacity, and I mean, and it's crazy how much it's growing out there. And you say, well, land is rocky and all that stuff. Nobody cares. They're still trying to buy and trying to build out there. I mean, just lately you see there's going to be a big subdivision being put in there in Rockville. So that was in the news. So yeah, it's growing a lot.
Craig Harris is with us, Rutherford County Commissioner. Craig, I keep getting text here about, wanting to know about tax increase and that kind of thing. I think the one thing that needs to be said here is the county commission is very limited in where it can get the funds for the budget. I mean, the property tax is pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we have, some taxes, hotel tax, drink by the liquor tax. We have some things, but no, the most majority part of our funding comes from property tax. So, and we're limited, like one of the things that I get a lot of phone calls on is impact fees and school facility tax. And what that is when someone builds a house or a developer, they had to pay a certain fee to do that. So we have one of the lowest in Tennessee. And it really hampers us, because 30 miles down the road you got Franklin, and they're quadruple what we charge, builders. All we wanted is an opportunity. The county commission is working with the state and the county mayor's office and trying to get the County Powers Act, which limits us as to what we can charge, and trying to get that amended to where we can, at least grow with inflation, grow with a little bit and help us with the prices that are coming up. Because right now we've been at the same price for going on close to since 2007, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean, $1,500, you got these corporate builders coming in and say, holy man, $1,500, I'm in. I mean, it's a huge difference, and we have got to do something about that.
That leads me to the next question here from one of our texters. How can Williamson County charge more than Rutherford County, and why can't we up that fee?
Well, I think it's in 2007 we had the County's Powers Act, and they gave us the option. We could do $1 per square foot, or we could do $1,500. The commission back in that day chose $1,500. Williamson County opted out of all of it, said, we're doing our own thing. And so they're able to do what they're doing.
So it would take another County Powers Act to be able to change that, or?
Yeah, well, the mayor, the county mayor tried to get the County Powers Act changed, and he was not able to do that. So he's working on other stuff. He's working with us, and I'm working with him on other things. But there's things that working, I think, I don't care much for the mayor, but personally, but I think he's doing as best he can, and he's trying to help, Rutherford County in this situation. So he's trying to change the County Powers Act, and then there's other opportunities we can do, like change the Private Act. So, but you got to have support, and some of the lobbyists that are against us doing anything are very powerful. Home Builder Association, very powerful. Realtors, very powerful. And, of course, they're going to be against that. So you got a lot of things you're having to fight.
It almost kind of seems like you're as my dad would say, hogtied. You don't have much wiggle room to do what you need to do, and prices are increasing. You need to build more schools, and it's going to something's going to have to give.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just keep borrowing money. I mean, one of the things that we're so proud of as a commission, and I speak for every commissioner, is when we got a AAA bond rating. That was big. That gives us great prices. That gives us, great interest rates. But if you continue to borrow, that goes away. And now you're not getting those, that privilege on all that, and that's where we're at. We're borrowing money for these schools, and it's getting outrageous.
Well, we're going to continue the conversation here with Rutherford County Commissioner Craig Harris, and we want to really kind of focus in our next portion of the program on what you have done here to help bring the Opioid Council here into Rutherford County, and what that means, and the task force that is working, and what all is going on with that. So that's where we'll be in conversation. You can call or text in any questions you might have for Rutherford County Commissioner Craig Harris as we continue on the action line here for Friday from News Radio WGNS. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Peter Demas. One of the things that we've done years ago is we've been able to do our orders, like our pastas and many other items, that we used to be able to put them in large pans, and now we have a catering team that will even deliver it to your home. We can drop it off for you, set it up, or they can come in and pick it up. Look up our catering menu on www.demasrestaurants.com. This is Peter Demas at Demas's Restaurant, 1115 Northwest Broad Street in Murfreesboro.
I got a radio that's kind of possessed.
It's Coast to Coast AM overnight every night.
You have a possessed radio?
Yeah.
WGNS Murfreesboro.
Good morning. I'm looking at a crash right now in Rutherford County. It appears to be non-injury, but it's just in a terrible spot. I'm talking about 24 westbound at Highway 96. The left lane is blocked. THP's here with a couple of units. Again, a crash here in Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, trying to get out of here. Actually headed towards Nashville. Slow go. 24 westbound at Highway 96. Nash Painting services all of Mill, Tennessee. Ask about their vapor blaster that removes paint without dust damaging the house. Check this out online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Seniors Helping Seniors in-home care services.
Seniors Helping Seniors helped me with grocery shopping.
This is Danielle Rutherford with Seniors Helping Seniors.
I'm so thankful.
Online at shsmiddletn.com.
We'll see gradually decreasing cloud cover for this afternoon with high temperatures working up into the mid-50s. Then for tonight, some frost possible late, low at 32. I'm meteorologist Michael Caron, News Radio WGNS. Currently 45.
This is Sean Brown at Tire World on Broad Street. Did you know we specialize in commercial and fleet business? We're equipped to handle all of your company's automotive needs. Download our Tire World app today for free oil changes and electronic coupons. Come by today for all of your automotive needs. Online at tireworld.us.
My grandmother and Ms. Adams were best friends. She said, Betty, you need to come to Adams' place. You'd love it.
We're talking with Betty Kirksey.
They go above and beyond of what their job is. I wish Miss Adams was still living so I could tell her, you were right, it is where I should be, and it's very nice.
I'm Terry Deal. Call me for more information about Adams Place, located at 1927 Memorial Boulevard, across from Walmart.
The Action Line on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
The Action Line, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. MTE has helped provide light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online at mte.com or download the My MTE app. Rutherford County Commissioner Craig Harris is joining us here this morning, and we've been talking about, budgets and money and the need for that. And during the commercial break there, Craig, you were mentioning that there has been a bit of a change in that, $1,500 per versus the dollar per square foot thing here in the county.
Yeah, 2 years ago, me, Jeff Phillips, Mike Cush, commissioners, and Bill Ketchern, or the county mayor then, we went out. I had found a loophole in the law to where they were supposed to give us studies, and they have not done that. The state didn't do that, so it was able for us to go in there. We got it changed from $1,500 to $1 per square foot, and the average size of a house in Rutherford County is about 2,400 square feet. So it gave us an additional $3 million in revenue. But it's nowhere near enough. It's kind of like some of these commissioners, it's a drop in the hat. But I was trying to do anything I can, and Mike Cush and Jeff Phillips. I mean, we did everything we could. And, when you run up against powerful lobbyists and people that don't share your idea, it's tough. And I don't think people understand that. We get blamed for a lot of things, but we have went out there and tried to do something on this, but, it's tough. It's a tough sell.
And on the other side of that, your constituents, I mean, we're seeing text from a lot of them this morning that, the property tax continues to go up. And there are people who don't have kids in school, yet they're footing the bill for schools because their property taxes continue to go up. But that's another part of where the county is kind of tied, because there are only certain places where you can get money. So that has to come from the state, doesn't it? They control where you can do that.
We get some money. We get, let me see if I can explain. Number one, we haven't raised taxes in 3 years. All right. To this day, we have one of the lowest rates for taxes. So we're in good shape as far as the rate. We're almost, Memphis, Shelby County is twice what we are. Twice, and we're still one of the lowest in the state. Let me try to explain to you this way on how we get into a situation. A study came out that Rutherford County families average about 2.3 kids per family. All right, so they probably pay anywhere between $1,600 to $2,000 a year in property tax. It costs $8,500 for a kid to go to school. Each, not family, each. So you got two kids at 18, let's just say 8,000. It's more than that, but 8,000, that's $16,000. The state pays 65% of that. So we're responsible for that. It comes nowhere close to the $1,600 that we charge in property tax. And you see that we're going through that like really heavy right now. You probably got, I think I looked at it back in 2019, like 130,000 households, so it's a pretty substantial number. And, one of the misconceptions is growth pays for itself. That's absolutely false, because it doesn't pay for itself, and we're having to build, we're growing so much, we're having to build, fire stations and safety buildings, and we're having to increase teacher pay, and, it just keeps going up. So we had to do something. And I think, the county mayor, he is trying to, he was in the state legislation. He's trying to do things to do this, to increase the County Powers Act, and he's been out there trying to get it done. And contrary to personal beliefs, personal feelings, or anything like that, I am 100% behind and for anything that benefits Rutherford County. I want that to be known. I am 100%. My personal feelings mean nothing, irrelevant. I want Rutherford County to excel, and that doesn't mean that, like you're a Republican, you're a strong conservative. Yes, I am. But if you can't tell me that if a Democrat don't have a good idea, I'm jumping on it. I'm with him. I'm supporting him 100%. And I don't see party lines when it comes to the betterment of the citizens of Rutherford County.
Craig Harris is with us. If you've got any questions, 615-893-1450 is the number. I have seen popping up here landfill. Let's anything about the landfill. That's obviously priority number one. At least it was when the county mayor ran to deal with this landfill issue, and that's certainly has probably the number two issue you're dealing with. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an issue for a long time. The landfill is, the thing about trash is we don't want to touch it, and we don't want to see it, But we all have plenty of it.
No,
we got plenty. Yes, we got plenty of it. And the Republic, in my opinion, public relations failed. They're Darth Vader. They're enemy number one. But I'm not against Republic at all. I think right now we have free tipping, free trash, and that's going to change. And so you're talking about tax increase. Now you're looking at this. So, once you get rid of Republic, you lose that. So there's some, the city is, talking with the mayor. They're pretty much wanting to go a different direction. They're wanting to go to a company called Wasteway. City, I wish we could work together better on that, but that's, city can do what they want. I don't think the county is looking at going Wasteway at all. At least that's what I'm getting, but I could be wrong on that. But we have got to prepare for what's coming up. You hear all the time, people say it's going to close in a year, it's going to close in 2 years. That ain't got nothing to do with Rutherford County. We don't know when they'll close. That's entirely up to Republic. They can keep it open 5 or 6 years if they want to, because they control the flow of what goes in that landfill. So if they divert their truck somewhere else and that landfill stays open longer. But I think Republic, that I'm very mad. I got real mad at them and had a conversation with them. The number one thing that everybody complains about, smell. And I live in Marabella, and that's not too far away. And when I can't even walk my dog without, I walk, it's a mile walk for my neighborhood, around, and it should take me 14, 15 minutes. It takes me half an hour, 45 minutes, because people are stopping me. Do you not smell this? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, and I have a responsibility to address that, and I have addressed that with them. I've sat down with them. They acquired a gasification company, which should help with that. And I have not smelled it as bad. I'm sure there's some citizens out there that say they have, but I told them they have got to do something there, and they've invested a lot of money trying to fix the infrastructure, and I think they're doing better. But there's so many hard feelings right now. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
And I'm just against, the easiest thing to do is ship it out of here. Get it on a truck, ship it to some other landfill that ain't in our county. That's the easiest thing to do. However, that's the most expensive thing to do.
I was just going to say, yeah, that costs a lot of money.
Yes, it does.
So citizens are going to have to, whatever the solution is, it's not going to be a free solution like it has been for all these years.
No, and you also got to look at people that are in that area, that had to smell it. Very frustrated, and I'm with them 100%. And they're passionate and they want it done. And I feel for them. I do. But then you got people in Laverne and Smyrna that don't smell nothing. They don't care one bit. And then all of a sudden, we're going to hit you with $25 a month or, some increase. I don't know what it would be. And then they're going to be upset, so it's a tough situation.
Yeah.
It's really tough. I am for, if it was feasible transfer station, ship it out, but that cost is going to be big. So
we have Rutherford County Commissioner Craig Harris with us, and Craig, in our last few minutes here that we've got, I know that you are very passionate about the fight against opioid addiction and have been working tirelessly to bring some funds into the county, and you've spoken about this very frequently. Kind of update us on what it is that the Rutherford County Drug Task Force and what you're doing here, and you've gotten some federal funds, I guess, right?
Yeah, not federal, state. Yeah, but about 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago, me and Mayor Ketron at the time sat down, and a lot of people were suing pharmaceutical companies. And the problem that I had with suing pharmaceutical companies as far as the state level is that when you had to spend the money the way they wanted you to spend it. And I felt like Rutherford County needs to be able to use the funds in the way they wanted to. So we went by ourselves in the lawsuit. And so took a risk. It paid off. They settled. And then, of course, we went with the state, which we should have. The state was powerful, and we combined our lawsuit with them. And anyway, we got to where 30% of the money comes to us. And you're looking at over $600 million. So we got $500,000 a year for 18 years. And then we got an additional $1.5 million. That number fluctuates because there might be some more lawsuits come in. Walgreens just settled. That money hadn't come in yet. Purdue, the big one, they have not settled yet. They're in bankruptcy right now, and a federal judge has got it upheld because they're looking to hit the personal Sackler family, with a lot of this. So that's up in the air right now. But we got in $500,000, and then we just got a check the other day for $1.5 million. So we got $2 million right now in our account, and we want to help. What I'm focused on, and what I created a board, and that board is, they're solid. They're rock stars. I mean, they help me. They're leaders in this community, and they've helped me so much. And we're wanting to help coalitions. We're wanting to expand recovery court. We want to help people in housing. We want to help our sheriff's department. We have a lot of ideas. And the problem about the $1.5 million is we got a 2-year time limit. Use it or bring it back, and that's a lot of pressure on us because we're just not going to give it at anybody. But the thing I'm very most proud of is we made a partnership with the Middle Tennessee State University, their data analytics company. They are going to track data, and they're going to use their data to tell us what areas we need to focus on. And then once we give proceeds, then they're going to track that money and make sure they're doing what they say they're going to do. So I think that's a big help to us.
So all of this money is to go to fight drug addiction, drug abuse, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Opioid. A lot of people just don't know how bad it is. We don't, the thing about opioid and addiction and addicts, it's, we stigmatize them so bad. We look at them like, trash, dirty, and I get so frustrated on that because that's somebody's kid. That's somebody's mother, father, son, daughter, and we got to come together, man. There's no chance that we can win this or even put a dent in it without the community coming together.
Fentanyl, you hear stories about that every day. A lot of our police officers, they're using this Narcan each and every day just because of overdose situations. it's a real problem.
Yeah, there's two things that skew our numbers. Number one, if a person ODs in Murfreesboro or in Rutherford County and we ship them, send them to Nashville and they die, well, Nashville, that number goes to Nashville. So we had about 24 to 35 of those. So that number our numbers actually increase. Another thing is our OD calls. There's so many overdoses here in Murfreesboro, but kids can get Narcan now. So a lot of these overdoses,
go under on
don't even get reported to
Yeah.
us, and that's happening a lot. But there's fentanyl. We had 3,800 deaths in Tennessee, a little bit more than that. 3,000 of them was fentanyl. So heroin is actually going down, but fentanyl is going up. And now there's a new drug out there, that's 100 times more powerful than fentanyl. And it's starting to get traction. So it's just like, man, you focus and then you refocus and then it just,
Have you heard of Narcan parties?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That's apparently a thing.
That's a true. It's very true. Yes. OD, and they bring them back, And we've also, our EMTs, Sheriff's Department, they've had to go on calls where somebody OD'd and, got to come back again. Same person. Same person OD'd, again. And that happens constantly. I mean, if you talk to fire departments, especially in Murfreesboro, they'll tell you fires are, we don't go on fires that much, but, we go on overdose calls constantly. So it's just,
It's more of the rescue part of fire and rescue, isn't it?
Absolutely.
In terms of
them
that.
guys, City of Murfreesboro, those, and, Chief Farley for Rutherford County, they do such a great job. And they just, you're talking about a lot of calls. Just a lot of calls, and Murfreesboro's got tons. So, is it getting better? I get that question all the time. Is it getting better?
It's a moving target, isn't it?
It's a moving target, and people say, I've said this 1,000 times. The storm is not coming. It's here. So, is it getting better? No. But we are starting to show a little bit, offense. We're going at it. We got things that are coming together, and we're all focused. And I think we're going to see a big drastic change. At least I pray we do.
Last chance to get in some questions. Here's one text that says, don't have to increase taxes when you increase someone's valued property by double.
Yeah. Man, when that came out, last year, I knew,
Yeah.
But that's just the market. That's just how it is. Your property values go up when it's a good economy. It's not a good economy at all, but inflation and it's economics. When your value goes up, that's Rob Mitchell. That's tax appraisal. He has to appraise the property real tax. So I get it, man. I get it. There's going to be a lot of upset people out there, and it costs money to run a county, and I don't think people realize just how much money. You're talking about $600+ million budget. Just think about that. $500 million to run this county, and that's just unbelievable.
Majority of that is county schools.
It's $400+ million of that is county schools.
So that's almost 2/3 of that.
75, actually 3/4.
3/4, about 75% of that. Number two on that, I guess, would be your public safety, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you got public safety, you got roads, you got departments. I think we got, I'm terrible at just exact numbers, but we got over 1,500 employees. The schools got close to 5,000. That's a lot of people. And it's a lot of departments, Paul's, that costs money. He comes to us and asks for help all the time because he can't find workers, and then what do you got to do? If it ain't popular, you got to raise the price. You got to try to get people in here, and prices keep going up, every year. Salaries go up. You got to take care of the people who take care of you.
We've got like a minute left. Any final thoughts, Craig?
No, like I said, I'm open to anybody. I listen to everybody. I think one of the things that I do a lot is listen, and I hear people, and come to me. My email is Craig Harris at RutherfordCountyTN.gov. Especially if you have any problems with drug addiction or drug problems, call me, and I'll be more than glad to get you help. And like I said, I've always said I pray for everybody, and I hope they pray for me.
Well, there's always room for people to get involved, and that's another thing. We want all these things, but we don't want to do anything for it sometimes. And being involved and let your voice be heard, but also be willing to put some skin in the game. If we all did that, we'd have a little better going, I think.
Yeah, and there's an organization. Her name's Sarah Murphy, Rutherford Coalition. They have what's a recovery court, a recovery fest. And one I see for that is I want to get involved with them, and I want to make this thing huge. Like get it out, WGNS, get it out, D&J, all these people get this out, and let's as a community come together and make this thing huge and get the message out. Because I've always said the way that I go about trying to attack this is awareness, education, and recovery. And that's the blueprint. If everybody wants to know what I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking right there.
Rutherford County Commissioner Craig Harris, our guest today on the Action Line.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS.